the Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn, learn smarter.
It's Wild Card Weekend, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. For the first time in league history, 6 games are on the board during the opening round of the playoffs. Feature games Saturday include Indy at Buffalo and LA at Seattle. On Sunday, Chicago visits the Big Easy, while divisional rivals Cleveland and Pittsburgh square off. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as the journey to Tampa gets underway. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
All right, it's 3:06. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
And
And yeah, we're back. Hi.
yeah, back.
Hey, we're
Still separate locations. Still smoking digital weed. Oh, yeah, when's the last time you had flour? Is it still the last time we were together?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got that really shitty PR.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and I had someone. Sister-in-law was here. There's some flour in the house.
Yeah.
She came with 1.5 ounces. It was out in like a week. Like, hey, I'm out of weed. Like, I just look at her like, oh, 19. I remember you. But also, I told her, at 19, an ounce would have been a month's worth of weed for me. Just saying.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, these cartridges, I'm miserly puffing on them, like trying to conserve and get every last bit out of each one. So I'm still spending it. It was $75 for one cartridge.
Whoa! Come with a hand job?
Yeah. I mean, no, I just, yes, I thought the same thing is what I mean to say.
Am I going to come when I smoke this?
Yeah. No, my bud tender just said no.
Hey, I tried to do your thing of cracking them open and then like throwing them in I couldn't get mine cracked open.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I took a pair of pliers and just wrenched the top off.
Yeah, I tried to do that. I tried to do it with a pair of needle nose.
Oh, really?
And it seemed all I was doing was scoring the plastic.
Yeah.
Which
They're pretty.
It's a solid idea. Putting a little oil in your coffee. It's a solid idea. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something that I could just use to dissolve it. And I was like, could I just put something in there to like liquefy all this gunk and then just like do it as a shot? But then I was like, something hot would work. And I'm like, why not just throw it in the coffee cup and let it roast there for a minute?
Make the world's most awesomest coffee.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it tasted a little metallic.
But hey, cannabis. Where are you with the cannabis coffee drinks? I'm talking
out there. Have we talked about?
Oh, we know there's drink. But I'm saying, where's a cold brew cannabis drink that I can buy? Get my coffee on and my weed on all at the same time.
Yeah, I think there's probably just a lot of hesitation. Well, I don't know. Like Four Loko, they still make that, right? Or
Yeah.
Is it just all White Claw now?
Yeah, Four Loko still. There's still poor people. Four Loko still exists.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want the?
So that.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking like maybe they're just shying away from the idea of combining THC and nicotine because, I don't know, somebody's going to drink too many of them and their heart's going to race too much. But we fully accepted that energy drinks and alcohol go together.
Even though, we were the age of when they started hitting the bars. But trust me, we heard all the time, this isn't the greatest for your heart, but here, have a Jaeger bomb. Because it's a stimulant and a depressant, the same thing.
Yeah, I was never big on the Red Bull, but as the last shot or a shot later in the evening, maybe at the bar, it was a good pick me up.
I'll have to. A lot of Jaeger bombs in my past, but yeah, would it be the same? Well, THC, is it a depressant? Is it a stimulant? You figure 6 years of doing this show, I'd know the answer to that.
Well, it's a depressant.
So maybe that's why they're keeping it out of the but they
You think it would
they sell
balance
hard
out.
coffee now.
Right.
So
But
I just
the
shat on my
thing
own
is-
argument.
Right, but alcohol, while the effects of it can vary from person to person, they don't tend to vary within the person, meaning most people are just one type of drunk, right? You're either
drunk.
just normal, or some people always get violent, some people always get, just more outgoing. Some people like myself just shut down completely with alcohol now. Whereas I think it varies more with THC, where you can have different strains that'll hit you differently, and also the beverages are going to appeal to. Sorry, let me get this frog out of my throat. The beverages are going to appeal to a lot of the first timers, or maybe I haven't done drugs since the 70s or something like that. And yeah, you might end up dowding out in a hotel room somewhere, and then you add a bunch of caffeine to that, and I don't know. I can see it being a good recipe for panic attacks.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, definitely. Someone older taking themselves to the emergency room.
Right. You get a little bit of the paranoia. You get your heart rate going up from the caffeine. Now you're paranoid about why your heart rate's going up, which makes your heart rate go up. And then you're in the hospital saying that, White Claw Plus gave me, or whatever, THC-infused caffeine drink, sent me to the hospital and nearly gave me a heart attack.
Probably a listener going, "Don't drink White Claw into this."
Yeah, it's all right, yeah. Whereas White Claw is probably like, well, White Claw Plus, I'll write that down.
Right. Whatever gets 25-year-olds to buy it.
And me personally, I love the combination of THC and caffeine. And, I know that I'm not alone. There's plenty of, especially if you're using a strain that, is indica heavy and you don't want to just smoke and pass out. It helps balance it out. But I want to be able to control that. Right? The problem with the drink is that you don't have any control over how much the ratio between the THC and the caffeine. So if you're feeling a little sleepy, you can't just take some caffeine to balance it out. You're like Homer when he's the truck driver. He's got he's got the sleeping pills and the no-dose or something like that, or painkillers and no-dose. He's trying to find the right balance.
No, I mean, hey, nothing gets you going in the morning like some coffee and a sativa. Tell you that, you got shit to do. Do that.
Yeah.
You will get it done. You will get it done quickly, and you'll be chill as well.
I'm an all-day coffee drinker too, though.
You and my wife.
I usually make 2 pots. Well, they're not full pots. I live alone. I'm not drinking a whole pot of coffee at once. It really equates to, on average, probably actual coffee consumed would probably be between 3 and 4 mugs.
Put this way, I'm to the point now where I'm looking into a coffee subscription service where we could spend less and get the same amount of coffee. There is always coffee ready here. You, my wife, my mom. Like, my mom will drink a cup of coffee, go to bed. She's 72 years old.
Yeah, I go to bed late still. So usually I'm not in bed before 1 o'clock. But I usually stop. 10 o'clock's my cutoff.
See, I'm one of those not past, like, I'm done with my coffee by 2 or 3 o'clock. We're done. That's it. I'm real sensitive to caffeine, especially the fucking rocket fuel my wife drinks.
Yeah.
So it's a couple cups a day. Like, trust me, my stomach gets to a point where, like, okay, this is my last cup. Like, we're done. Because, I mean, besides the gastrointestinal fun that I have, I'll sit there and lay awake in bed and still feel my heart racing. And I just look at my mom and I'm like, wow. I'm like, yeah. Make yourself a cup of coffee and I'm going to bed. Like, you just drank 12 ounces of caffeine. How the fuck are you going to sleep?
Yeah, so the THC-infused coffee drinks is kind of like what was the peanut butter and jelly swirl thing? They still make it.
Goober,
right.
Yeah.
It's Goober, right?
Which, by the way,
here's two things that you always use together, and we put them together in one convenient product.
It's the best name you could come up with for that, by the way.
I know, right? They totally failed on the marketing of that product.
Yeah.
But, first of all, something's got to give, because why don't I have to refrigerate this preserve that is in here? It's because it's so filled with artificial preservatives that it's really not worth eating. And I'm also kind of snobby about my jams and stuff in general.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like
that weird, like, grape jelly that looks like mashed up Jell-O. No way. That's never going on.
Or just in general, grape jelly. Like, I am not
grape at
five.
All. Yeah. People who still eat grape flavored stuff, I'm like, I don't get it.
Oh, I gave up soda. There will always be a special place in my heart for Welch's grape soda. Don't get me wrong. But
white grape, maybe, because I'm an adult now.
Well, I did have my grape soda phase in my early 20s, so I get it. But
that can be your new campaign, Welch's. Hit me up. You're like, I'm an adult now. That's why I drink white grape.
White grape juice, because I'm grown.
Right.
No, I'm with you. Like, grape jam, I'm not 5. Get that shit out of here. Or grape jelly, like at least some kind of jam. If not, yeah, I'm saying it, a preserve.
Good in concept. The Goobers is. I don't know why I said that like Yoda. And but it's one of those things where you try it once and you're like, okay, I did that. I have to try it, and that's it. It's not going to replace an actual peanut butter and jelly for me. In an emergency, I would probably consume it. But yeah, I would probably try a THC infused coffee, but I cannot see it replacing anything for me.
Absolutely
I don't want to cede control of my high to somebody else, right?
Well, too, also, just like anything, it would be expensive.
That too, yeah.
You think those Starbucks, frappuccinos right. At the gas station are expensive at $3. Imagine throwing weed in there. They're like 10 now.
Well, dude, Starbucks says they're closing like 400 locations. I'm like,
oh no,
fucking good.
Yeah, stop littering our landscape.
Are they all the ones that are across the street from each other?
There used to be a local example of that. It was in Royal Oak. Do you remember back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was the place that used to be the bank was a Starbucks, and it was right across the street from another Starbucks.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're not going to turn around. We got all these fucking boulevards in Michigan. Like, I'm not going to.
No, but they were on the same side of the street. That's what I didn't understand. They were on the same side of the street.
Oh yeah, you're right. They wouldn't even be capturing different traffic.
No, yeah, it wasn't even like one's for southbound, one's for northbound. They're the same side of the motherfucking street. That's what I didn't understand. I remember laughing at it when I was 17, 18. Going, what the fuck is this?
And everyone that lived in the area had their favorite.
Yeah, I like the bank one better.
Right. I'll walk a couple extra blocks to go to that one.
And by a couple extra blocks, she means literally across the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they were each on the corner of an intersection. That was, I remember having that thought, like, okay, this is officially ridiculous. There's a Starbucks across from a Starbucks. But
we lost our mind over Starbucks for what, like 20 years now? How long has this been?
And then you realize that coffee ain't that good.
I've never liked it.
Do you like overly caffeinated bitter coffee? Try this.
Yeah. Honestly, their homebrew stuff tastes better than the stuff that you get at the store to me, but it's still not as good as I'm still stuck on my Seattle's Best.
See,
at number 4.
We moved on to Javalia here. Mandy bought it as just because it was on sale at Walgreens.
Is that the yellow bag?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had some really good flavors of that.
It's really good shit.
Some really earthy, like Madagascar and shit.
It's not bitter. That's what we both like about it.
Yeah, they're smooth. I like it. Seattle's Best is still kind of in between that. Like it's got a little bit more, not quite as bitter as a Starbucks, but it's got a little bit more kick to it.
But we do, however, we are now going through 2 12-ounce bags a week of coffee. Woman makes a lot of coffee. So like I said, I'm now starting to research coffee subscription services. Like, all right, it's getting ridiculous.
Getting ridiculous that we're talking about coffee so much on the Coffee Man podcast here.
Yeah, here. And show where we talk about coffee. Been doing it for 6 years. We did start. It did start about weed. Would put with the weed in the coffee. This all started from we're talking about you cracking open your cartridges.
Yes.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Pro Extra is the Home Depot's free loyalty program built for pros. Members earn perks just for shopping, like new Pro Extra dollars or tool rental perks. Get exclusive benefits every day that save time and money. And here's an extra, $20 off your next in-store purchase of $200 or more, just for signing up. Want to save? Join Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Visit the Pro Desk in-store or at homedepot.com/proextra for details.
As a professional painter, you know your customers want a flat finish, but don't want to pay the price of fighting dirt, grime, and scuffs. Use new Bare Ultra Scuff Defense from the Home Depot for a beautiful flat finish, plus stain and scuff defense. And that price starts at just $29.60 a gallon. And that's before the Pro Extra discount. A flat paint that's too tough to scuff. Bare Ultra Scuff Defense. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Available online and in select stores.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
So, some big news in gaming this week. There was a new PlayStation announced. I know that you didn't upgrade to the PS4.
Yeah.
Do you still have your PS3?
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere. Was it even worth taking it in for a trade-in or something? Did you even try?
No. It might still be. It might still be where it used to be. My wife might have just shoved it back in the. Yeah, but it's.
Yeah, I think that you could trade it in for probably a third of the cost of a new game.
So $10, $20.
Yeah, $20. I'm guessing.
Well, and the only reason we stopped, it still works. The only reason we stopped using it is all the apps we used stopped updating, like to watch TV and shit. Because once Sony got once they got deep into PS4, they stopped servicing all the stuff for PS3.
Well, you were never huge on the gaming part of it, and so now that it's not even worth being an entertainment center for you, then there's no reason to really get a PS4 or 5 rather.
Well, when I bought it, I was a huge gamer. You know?
Oh, did you? I thought you just were like into the sports stuff occasionally.
Oh, when I bought it, it was doing Modern Warfare. You know, playing all the sports games like it. But yeah, somewhere around my early 30s, I just petered out on playing video games.
It happens. Because you're an adult now.
It wasn't even like I'm an adult. It was like, trust me, it felt like a time suck. Now, trust me, I'd sit around and do other things, but it's...
You know, the only reason I'm able to justify the time that I spend on games now, because I've gotten really into games. I'm still catching up on stuff that's years and years old. But the only reason I can justify it now is because there's so many podcasts that I want to listen to. Mm-hmm. And I can't just sit there. If I just sit and listen to a podcast, I will fall asleep. And there's only so much cleaning I can do. So I need something else that I can do with my hands and my eyes while I listen to podcasts. And it works out perfectly.
Hey, yeah, whatever works.
You know, if there's a part that I really need to pay attention to in the game, I can pause the podcast. But
it's funny how differently we're wired, because if I'm listening to a podcast and I want to absorb the information, it has to be the only thing I'm doing. Like, I can't be reading, I can't be doing other things, because my mind, like, I won't absorb the information.
I'll confess that there's a decent amount of zoning out that I do just in general listening. I listen to a lot of conversational podcasts, so I don't have to follow them beat for beat. But when I do listen to something where they're talking about something that's really important to me or that I'm thoroughly engaged in, yeah, there are times where I can just sit and listen. But in general, no, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I learned that with audiobooks. I guess that's really where I learned. Like, that's how I am when I'm listening to something. So but then again, you want to stay awake. We're all wired different, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
but
I've
PS5,
tried audiobooks. Audiobooks are good for driving. That's about it. That's like everything else. I will either just fall asleep if I just try and sit and listen, and if I do something else, I'll miss out on stuff in the book. So, but yes, we did start talking. So, did you at least see it? Did you see the look of the new PS5? It's kind of radically different. They've all, up until now, been, well, I shouldn't say now. I had one of the original ones before they got into the black box format from the PS2 on.
Yeah. No, I had the original PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is it's different looking.
Yeah, it's like it's not meant to fit in. These are no longer meant to fit into entertainment centers and blend in with the rest of your, appliances.
It's apparently huge.
I don't think it's that huge. I mean, it's definitely it's bigger than the PS4 for sure, but it's still a sizable amount smaller than even a smaller format PC.
And it looks too, it's meant to be vertical. Is this the first vertical PlayStation?
They've all been, well, from 2 on, they've all had vertical modes. But, yeah, this one is, I don't think you can put this one on its side.
And it looks like you have, one with a CD drive and one without?
Yeah, there's a digital edition of it. So you can actually forego the disc drive. I think it would have to be a pretty sizable price difference for me to jump on that.
Yeah.
But then again, I've purchased probably half and half digital and physical games. And I think I'm probably about average for your gamer these days.
See, I could tell you, like, at this point, I would treat my video games like I treat my music. Why the fuck are you giving me shit to lose? I will buy it online where it will live forever, and I can't lose it.
Right. Well, you hope it lives forever.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, I get your point. There's still the element of, there's the resale market that, downloading your stuff digitally takes that out of the equation.
See, I've never been a big resale guy. Maybe it's because we're from the generation that was probably the only one that got to sell their CDs. And taking a stack of CDs to a shop too many times and only getting $20, maybe just kind of soured me on the resale market kind of early.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're not going to get more than a few bucks for shit like this. So I don't even bother with reselling stuff.
It's pretty decent. So, like, when I bought the PS4, I purchased Death Stranding. because it looked like a really interesting game, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get the PS4. And I ended up really hating the game. So I paid full freight for that, $60, and I think I got $38 in credit back on it. And I remember damn near being $40. So I was actually kind of satisfied with that. I mean, the flip side of that is when they sell it too, they only knock like 10 or 15% off of a used version versus a new version, because there's essentially no difference. It's not like you're getting booklets or anything with these games now anyway.
Yeah, when's the last time an instruction manual came with a book with a game?
Yeah.
2009.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's nice to have a peek at the technology that I'll be buying from a pawn shop in 5 years.
Right. Well, yeah, what?
Because the tag on this thing has not been announced. It's gonna
Dude, it's gonna be $1,000. I bet you it's gonna be $1,000.
Oh, no. It's estimated to be, I'm going to say $599 for the full version, and they might get down to $500 for the digital edition. But I'm doubting a CD drive makes that big of a difference. I'm thinking it's going to be like a $50 difference maybe. But I think that's the lowest end on either one of these is going to be probably $500. It's kind of a bummer because Horizon Zero Dawn and the Spider-Man game are two games that I both thoroughly enjoyed. I played the entire campaign through both of those and the add-ons and everything. And I was really looking forward to new versions of that. I don't really care about 4K. I don't really even care about the games having better graphics. Horizon and Spider-Man are on the PS4 are great-looking games. I see how much better they look on the new system, but I don't really care. It's not really a selling point for me.
And what's the big deal with what this supposed to be, other than the new design? Is it just
well, there's all kinds of new technology now, and
a faster processor.
They have to keep up with PC gaming. PC gaming has the advantage of being able to adapt its games to fit whatever new technology is out there. And PlayStation being a closed system that it is, like Xbox, you have to do it all as one. You can't just say, hey, we've released some hot new RAM that you can pop into your PlayStation and upgrade it so that you can play this game. So, on PCs, they have tiered ways that you can play it. So you can set the resolution really low if you don't have good enough hardware to run it. You can run it at a lower frame rate. But, if you're going to have a better looking game, it's also got to run at a higher frame rate, higher resolution. So you need bigger and better hardware for all that.
It's going to have a solid state drive instead of a hard drive. Yeah.
So as far as game mechanics go, they've nailed it, There's nothing, sure, they're constantly finding new and better ways to tweak it to make the experience better, but you don't need a whole new system for that. I don't need a whole new system for that. I just want to be able to play the new games. And there are a lot of the new games that they come out with for the PS5 are going to come out concurrently for the PS4 because there's so many PS4s out there. It would be kind of insane for all game developers to just cut that out of their market. And I get why PlayStation is making them exclusives because, there's a reason why they launched with those Horizon and Spider-Man games. Those are big sellers for them, and those were big investments for Sony. They paid, I think Spider-Man was developed in Sony, and then the company that did Horizon, Sony paid them for exclusivity to that franchise.
Yeah. And then if you have the hot new shit and it's only on your console, guess we're selling a whole bunch of consoles.
Yeah, so I get it. But unless my financial situation drastically changes and I'm just not going to miss $800, I'm not getting this thing anytime soon.
Yeah. Does it come with two controllers yet, or do they still fucking
No, I think it's going to be one controller, and there's there's a camera add-on and there's a hard drive add-on. That's why I said 800 because by the time you buy the system, get all the other stuff, buy another controller, buy enough games so you can enjoy it, you're easily going to be now 800 plus. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people who are dropping $1,000, like you originally said. That it's not going to be $1,000 for the system. But if you want to enjoy the system, it's going to be $1,000 probably that people are going to be dropping, getting all the games, all the stuff for it.
Someone from Sony just came. They heard our conversation. But yeah, that's why they're Sony. That's why they're who they are. That's why they continue to dominate Xbox. Yeah, and I ain't hating on Sony. I think it's just unfortunate. It might be another sign that, there's limits to me and my video gaming, right? I'm not going to be such a fan of this that I'm always going to get the latest and greatest stuff. It's just not going to matter. Oh, you know what? Or they end up going the Apple route, right? You start leasing these things or leasing to buy. Oh, that's what Xbox is trying to do. They've got a system where you can do that. And I think with the concept being, because, both Xbox and Sony or Microsoft and Sony are doing their new generation consoles for this year. But the old ones, since then, they've done upgraded models of. So the Xbox One S and then the X and then the PS Plus, and then they did other models of that. So they still made tweaks to them. They didn't want to wait for the whole new generation of processors and everything to come online. They wanted to take advantage of the 4K and better resolutions that are out there now. Mm-hmm. So that probably is your long-term model for this type of gaming is, there's an upgrade available to it. Hey, ship us your old one. We'll ship you the new one. You keep paying us $50 a month or whatever. With my day job, that's what credit card manufacturers or credit card machine manufacturers do now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they lease the fuck out of those things. You don't buy the machines anymore. You just lease them because the technology changes so quick. Yep. And it makes sense because, it takes, you don't have, the end user doesn't have to be tech support or rely on third-party tech support. The company that owns it will service it. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I just really hope that they don't make Cyberpunk, the new Cyberpunk game, PS5 exclusive, because that's really going to upset me. That's one game that I'm really looking forward to and would like to buy when it comes out. I don't even know what that is. It's just, what Cyberpunk is, right? Yeah, there's a video game? Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. I just see Cyberpunk 2077? Yeah. According to the Google machine. It's just going to be about, cyborgs, people augmenting their body. But I've always been into that shit. I was the only one of my group that owned the Cyberpunk role-playing game and tried to DM some campaigns, but nobody else was really into it. They wanted to do Robotech and TMNT. Cyberpunk is a dystopian. I can't fault them. Those are two high-quality RPGs from back in the day. It's a dystopian tabletop role-playing game written by Mike Pondsmith. Yeah. Yep. It's a 1988 first edition. 1990 was Cyberpunk 2020. That's hilarious. I'd love to read from that book just to see what they thought the world was going to be like in 2020. Right. So what? They're still actually did it make? I guess I'm not gathering from this. Oh, here it is. Video games. Is this the same thing? Did they make the jump? Is the Cyberpunk video game the same thing that the video game version of what you're talking about? I actually don't know if it's, I don't know if Cyberpunk is a copyrighted name or if it's just a general term. It's been treated just it's like steampunk. Steampunk is a derivative of cyberpunk, at least in the use of the term and putting the punk in there. And it's not like one person is credited with steampunk. It's just been this kind of whole, I don't even know what you'd call it. People write books in the theme of steampunk,
but they don't have to pay licensing fees to somebody. So I've always kind of taken cyberpunk to be the same thing, but it does actually derive from a single source and a single writer. So I don't know. I'm going to have to find out now.
So I'm doing a deep Wikipedia dive on this, and it doesn't look like the video game is related. So maybe the video game's just on the concept of it. Huh.
Yeah, I didn't take it that there was any direct connection.
There was,
but it's not like Cyberpunk became. It's not like it was this big thing. Like, it's not like the guy went on to write a whole series of books, or something like that. It was never a franchise.
According to Wikipedia, it was voted in 1996 by the readers of Arcane magazine. It was voted the 10th most popular role-playing game of all time.
Well, I was always ahead of my time. By 96, though, I was actually getting my dick sucked. So.
Yeah, for sure. By 96, you knew what titties were.
Yeah, and what they felt like.
Yes.
I think I was trying to figure out where this flyer came from, what year it would have been. It might have been around 96. It was for... Actually, let me go grab the flyer real quick. I was organizing my records, and this flyer for a party fell out of one of them. And so it was just a preliminary organization. I haven't actually broken it down fully. I wanted to start with just a basic division of rock and techno. And I was kind of curious to see how my collection divvied up, because I was like, I think I have... I feel like I've bought a lot more techno than rock. But then again, I've gotten rock records from all over the place. People see you have a vinyl collection, they're like, oh, here, I got this old Beatles record, take this. Or you just pick up shit like Herb Alpert records at flea markets. So turns out I'm 50-50.
Really?
Pretty much right down the middle. I had 2 rows that I was right. So I started, top row was rock and the bottom row was techno. I just started slotting everything as I was sorting them. And I'm like, wow, it was like neck and neck all the way down. And, I don't know why that matters, but it makes me feel good about my record collection that it's like nicely divided.
You didn't lean too hard one way or the other.
Yeah. I've always kept a good mix. I've always liked a wide variety of music. And even, like, those are really broad. Like, basically, everything that goes into the rock section is everything that's predominantly has vocals and there are instruments on it. I don't want to say that instruments, because there's synths and everything on the other stuff. But, acoustic or electric instruments, not electronic. So like all my jazz and all the blues and all the pop and all the disco and all the
analog
metal,
instruments.
Yeah, all that shit goes into rock category. I'm not breaking it down further than that. All that stuff's going to be alphabetized. The techno, on the other hand, I do want different categories. And I'm thinking about just doing it by label, because that would kind of give me what I want. Ultimately, there's going to be a section of my techno that I'm going to want to take out and listen to. My records by The Orb and Black Dog and Aphex Twin and Square Pusher. Stuff that artists that I just listen to full albums of, usually. Then there's wide swaths of techno that I've bought for, EPs that have 1 or 2 good tracks on it, and I'm hardly ever listen to the rest of it. More stuff that I've bought for mixing, making DJ sets. So if I do it actually by label, it'll kind of naturally be divided up into sections like that of like listening techno and DJing techno.
Right. Well, and then, a lot of labels just had their own reps for we do this kind of style.
Yeah.
Which helps too.
Right, where there's a lot of like indie rock and pop records that or labels that have kind of a theme and similar, but still, I wouldn't group my rock albums in that way. If I want to find something, I don't want to have to think about what label they were on. Whereas the techno stuff, I'm going to want to go through and go, oh, look, here's all the Plone records that I have, and here's the Disco B stuff, and they all kind of fit together. Like, you know, anyway, I'm going off too much about my record collection. I don't even. But
how hipster of you?
Oh my God, I was looking for this last night and I didn't find it. You know how I was saying 96 was the year? Yeah. And I was like, this flyer was probably from around 96 because I was trying to figure out when was Nightcap 2. Like, I barely remember this party. I remember Nightcap 1 because it was after the Orb live show in Detroit. But Nightcap 2, I know I went to it. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about it. And I just saw that there is a copyright on the bottom of this. That's 1996.
There you go.
So I had nailed it.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Look in your home. Look in your office. Look in your home office. Everywhere you turn, there's so much smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. Our game-changing FlexPath format puts you in control of your master's degree, so you can learn how, when, and where you want. Smart, huh? Yeah, we think so too. So if you want to take the next step in your career, make Capella your first step. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter. Look in your home. Look in your office. Look in your home office. Everywhere you turn, there's so much smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. Our game-changing FlexPath format puts you in control of your master's degree, so you can learn how, when, and where you want. Smart, huh? Yeah, we think so too. So if you want to take the next step in your career, make Capella your first step. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the name your price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
And trust, you know, I'm not a date guy. I'm real broad strokes. Like, I don't remember dates, much less could tell you what year something happened. But yeah, so the August 17th of 1996, I know where I was, even though I don't remember the night. I was at Nightcap 2. It's described as TC's second Detroit-style PJ party. Now, the second one is kind of self-explanatory because this is Nightcap 2. Detroit style, well, it's in Detroit. Detroit style, I don't know that had a strict definition, but basically it meant you can go heavy on the fog, don't use a lot of lights, preferably just some strobes, and keep those fucking glow sticks out of my face. That's pretty much it. That's Detroit style party. Yeah. TC would be the person, of course, who's throwing the party. And if you didn't know TC, you might have still heard TC if you've been to a party back in the day, because he was a whistler. He would do some sort of really loud, high-pitched whistle, and he would just tweet, 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 tweet.
Oh, that guy. He was at every party.
Yes. You've heard him.
We get it. You're gay and you own a whistle. Cool.
Oh, he wasn't gay.
Oh, that makes it worse.
He loved Little Raver chicks.
I could at least excuse it as some kind of gay prop.
No. That was just his thing. And people knew. And it was, dude, it worked. We knew who TC was. He was a generally good dude. He was a fun dude. And you knew when he was at the party.
Literally.
So
you could hear him.
So, and PJ party, yeah, they were PJ themed parties. People wore their pajamas. I don't think I actually wore PJs to Nightcap 2. I know I did to Nightcap 1 because I remember being at St. Andrews Hall upstairs where Orb was playing. And there were a ton of people. The crowd there was like half people in pajamas and the other half going, why is half of these people in their pajamas?
Right.
Yeah, well, anyone who wasn't wearing pajamas to the Orb show didn't know where the real after party was.
But to us, it's like, didn't it become painfully obvious, like, to not have a theme at parties? Like, just have the fucking party.
Yeah, dude, this was kind of a rarity for that the party would have some sort of dress-up theme.
Yeah.
This was really, look, this was an excuse for TC to get a bunch of little white raver girls to get eat up and be wearing minimal amounts of clothing. Because look, you tell a girl going to a rave that this is a PJ party, you can only imagine. Like, they barely dress themselves for the regular attire parties. So, PJ party, you can imagine there are a lot of nighties.
You're getting brown panties.
Yeah.
And God love them.
Yeah.
God love the raver chicks.
And, and me and TC.
Who are now all middle-aged moms.
Yeah. Stretched out tats.
Yeah.
A TNA production. This is on the other side of the flyer. TNA Productions gives you a pajama party, which you won't soon forget, provided you're able to remember it. Lo and behold. And the DJs that were featured here, Claude Young. I loved Claude Young. Claude was a great guy. I got to hang out with him some too.
I have to ask where you live. Fireworks or gunshots?
Yeah, fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a redneck party every weekend.
Could be either or.
Yep. Let's see, Underground Resistance, Assault DJs, Live PA by Ox 88, Lawrence Burden. I remember the name, but I couldn't tell you. Chuck Hampton, Eddie Flash and Folks, big Detroit DJ, Big Joe Hicks, Mark Flash, Doc Omni, Trax, which was actually a Chicago dude, VJ Z-Man. Oh, that was the VJ, the video jockey.
Mm-hmm.
He was in charge of visuals. He was like, yeah, I got some pictures of psychedelic mushrooms and fractals.
Yeah.
Advance tickets. How much do you think this party cost? In 1996.
$20.
$17. You were very close, sir.
Just round it up to 20. What's with the 17? Not saying you. I'm saying that. Like, why didn't you just charge?
No, I know.
$20?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, maybe he wanted people to have $3 for their first balloon.
Well, no, I'm saying, first of all, if you're the person like taking the money at the door, you gotta start that guy off with a big bunch of singles, and all he could do is just be taking 20s. Thank you.
This next part, so the address is on here, but this is confusing to me because I don't remember. Was there a place in Detroit called Somewhere in Detroit?
No.
Because the address is Somewhere in Detroit, 2030 Grand River. I'm like, yeah, 2030 Grand River is a rather specific place in Detroit that anybody with a map could find.
Let's see what's at 2030 Grand River today. Bet you it's a field.
Oh, this must be for tickets. That's Record Time's address. Isn't it?
No, Record Time's on Gratiot.
Oh, you're right. That was on Gratiot.
By the way,
it says Record Time on it, so you must have been able to get your tickets at Record Time.
It says the Metroplex.
The Metroplex
is currently at 2030 Grand River.
Yeah, so maybe they had a room there that they probably called Somewhere in Detroit. Or
the picture is an empty lot.
Yeah, or they put the address on there and TC was like, no, just put Somewhere in Detroit. And they're like, okay, we'll add Somewhere in Detroit. Enough the address.
There's a Taco Bell in Okemos at 2030 Grand River.
Also, this flyer says there were 3 rooms and a special guest DJ from Paris. Oh my gosh, maybe I do remember this. This couldn't have been. No. That was a Motor City Mad Men show. Laurent Garnier from Paris DJ'd in Detroit. That might be who they were talking about. And there's a topless witch, an anime witch riding a broom with her tits out.
Nice. Yeah, 2030 Grand River is now a parking lot.
Yeah.
According to the Google Maps. Man, it's a party over there. They're screaming, there's fireworks.
I don't know what they're yelling about. It's kind of dark for cornhole.
That's what she said. By the way, I did not find one person you mentioned on Google Music. I looked up everybody you mentioned.
What, when I was talking about a record collection? And
no, when you're reading from the flyer.
Oh.
None of those people have an internet presence.
Well, not all. I mean, these were DJs.
Yeah.
Well, Aux 88, I'm surprised they didn't come up. Aux 88, they were on UR, Underground Resistance. Claude Young did some. I've got like one Claude Young record. I think he did a couple records back in the day, but he was mostly just a DJ.
Never mind. He's on here.
Yeah.
He's got 10 albums on here. My bad.
Who?
Claude Young.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he did some full length albums too.
This is his most popular track.
What's it called?
Changing Factors. From the album DJ Kicks.
Oh, DJ. Those are actual DJ compilations. The DJ Kick stuff. So this might be one of his tracks. It sounds like one of his tracks. So they tend to be really kind of dubbed out, more minimalistic, hard techno. Yep. Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I know this track. I think I might have this one. I think this is on the
it's got to be
12-inch.
It's got to be the guy you're talking, because the album that Carl Craig's on the front of the album that this is on.
Yeah, so this is Carl Craig's DJ Kicks compilation where he plays a Claude Young track. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, both Claude Young and Shake was the name of his friend, Anthony Shakir. And I guess they were friends, I think, going way back. They were both DJs in Detroit. They both they had their own label, Frictional. And yeah, they just made some of the crazier Detroit techno out there. I don't think they really fit into the scene at the time. You know, Detroit techno was known for not so much for the hard minimalist stuff. Detroit techno was lusher, so, big strings and pads and stuff like that. You know, Detroit techno had the feel of the city, that Motown feel to it. At least the early stuff did.
Like dirty house music.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I like that description, actually.
Like if we took the happy out of the Chicago house music.
Yeah. And I think there was a kind of a circular influence. You know, there's a lot of Germans loved Detroit techno. They made their own version of it, which ended up being faster and harder and more minimal. And that influenced a lot of Detroit artists. So, Claude Young would have been part of that second wave, or possibly third wave of Detroit techno that was being influenced by the stuff that was coming back over from England. So they're like Sloan, right? Where Sloan is ripping off all these British artists that were ripping off all these American artists.
Yes.
Not to say that Claude Young or Anthony Shakir are ripping people off, but I'm using that as shorthand for the type of influence that happens in music.
It's understood over here.
Yeah, Claude Young was also a really nice guy. My friend Derek got to know him really well. I got to hang out with them a few times. And the only Detroit techno artists who I've actually been inside their studio.
Oh, wow. Was it cool?
It was I just wish that I knew more about the equipment. Like, now I would probably short his stuff out from drooling all over it too much. At the time, it was just like...
It was probably overwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, now you know what the shit is.
Yeah, I didn't know how any of the shit worked or what it did. I know this track, too.
I just started playing Carl Craig because I like Carl Craig. Talk about techno.
Yeah, that's why I know it.
Yeah. This is from 97. This is in the heart of it.
Yeah. I have a lot of Carl Craig stuff too. I'm a huge fan. I've got like every version of Bug in the Bass Bin that he released, which was a lot. But the stuff that I keep going back to is the stuff he did under the name 6ix9ine or 69. It's just the number 69, but I think it was always just pronounced as 6ix9ine. There was actually a track. I was riding my bike earlier today and I had my stuff on shuffle, and his track Desire came up, and I was like, God damn it, I hadn't heard this song in years.
Oh, it's the first thing that comes up when you type in 69 and Carl Craig on Google Music.
And it's got a lot of elements from that first wave of Detroit techno, but it adds that Carl Craig feel. He's got some break beat that pops in there. Yeah, those fucking fake string sounding synthesizers. I love that shit. And you know, I know, like, listening to this now, if you've never heard this track, it doesn't sound like much. I can see how a lot of people would listen to it and think, it's kind of unoriginal. That sounds like 90s shit.
There's a 22-year-old OK Boomer in you right now.
Yeah. But this is like, you know, all that stuff that we heard in the later 90s of, like, the Deep Forest track and the chant track and all that stuff, like, that was all influenced by the shit that Carl Craig was doing.
And also, too, I'll say this, assholes, no computer doing nothing on this. This is all faders and knobs and getting the like.
Yeah, you've got a sequencer certainly.
Yeah,
but
no Mac doing all your transitions for you.
I mean, you can tell the strings aren't programmed. That you can tell that's somebody playing that.
Yes. No Pro Tools. Guy was doing this live.
So there you go. You know what? There's no weed news this week.
Weed is canceled.
Weed is not canceled.
That's true. It's like a giant nugget. Whoa.
But yeah.
Hold on. There is a flyer attached. Hold on. It says it's got Metroplex on it. I think it was a link just to another. Yeah, never mind. I think Metroplex Records. Ever heard of that? Oh,
yes.
It's Juan Atkins. That's why.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Never mind. I thought this had an old flyer link to it in the thing.
Right. Oh, because of the address was the Metroplex. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think of that when you said Metroplex, but yeah, that was Juan Atkins' label.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, was your boy with the whistle? Oh yeah, this hardcore Detroit techno. How old? This got to be late 80s.
Yeah, I was going to say
the
it's late 80s. No, I was going to say
1987. According to
I was a year off. I was thinking 88.
Hey, it says copyright 87. Could have came out in 88, for all we know.
That's true. That's true.
This could have been recorded in December 1987.
What's the name of this track?
Off to Battle, Model 500.
Oh, okay.
It's produced by Juan Atkins.
Yeah. You had some like cosmic cars in there, or no UFOs. That's the fucking. That's a track that stands up,
dude. You want to be taken back? Distributed by Music Master Incorporated on 7 Mile. Remember the place you'd have to send your shit to get made back before you could burn your own CDs?
Oh, I never had to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No, that was the place I went to school.
No,
wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
No, you went to RID.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking. There's Music Master was like a local version of Disc Makers is what Music Master was.
Right. Okay.
Man, this is some fucking.
Dude, it's getting me hyped.
I know, right? This should be the outro music.
Do you smell fog?
I smell vapor.
Vapor
yeah,
rub?
Start smelling like vapor rub up in here. Anyone got a ring pop? All right. We did it. We made another one. It's a giant nugget this week, but whatever.
Yeah, we didn't talk. We talked a little bit about cannabis. Honestly, there's not much going on with cannabis right now.
Government's got bigger things to do right now.
Yeah, there's still an ongoing lawsuit over delivery in California. That's there's some development on, but no actual news, no result. I think we mentioned it before, actually. There's a lot of communities that have said no. Like part of the California recreational plan was that individual communities could say, "I don't want a dispensary in my city," and that was perfectly legal.
Well, it's been pretty much part of every. It was part of Colorado. It's part of Michigan for sure.
Yeah. Well, now that they're offering delivery in California, these communities are complaining that these products are being delivered to people in their community.
So what? They're just being delivered. They're just being dropped off.
Isn't that the fucking worst? They're not going to win this suit because it's a legal product, right? There's nothing saying that they can't bring that product into the community. They just can't sell it there, right? I get that. You don't want a liquor store. There's a big difference between saying, I don't want a liquor store in my neighborhood and nobody can drink in my neighborhood. And it's just not legal. You know, there's plenty of things that Amazon sells that you might not want a store selling that in your neighborhood. That doesn't make it illegal for people to buy stuff off of Amazon and have it shipped to their house.
Yeah. Or, here, check this out. Strippers, right? In most cities, at least around here, they're delegated to a certain part of town.
Yes.
You can still have a stripper come to your house if you hire one, though.
Yep, absolutely. There are definitely places where you cannot just go and build a strip club.
Yeah.
People will stop you. Nobody's going to stop you from hiring a stripper to come to your house and dance privately for you, and they shouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not doing it on your front lawn.
Yeah, it's in the privacy, and same thing with this. Order it from somewhere else, someone else is bringing it to us, and they're leaving. Like, we've been saying it for 6 years. You can't, it's over. All right? If you're against this, it's over. All right? You can't put the horse back in the barn.
This is from MJ Biz Daily. They said the brief was written in response to a lawsuit brought last year by 25 local governments that are arguing the delivery policy violates state law by overriding their ability to regulate cannabis commerce at the local level. No, it doesn't. It's not regulating commerce.
Yeah, no, it's
you don't get to. You get to say in what gets sold in your community, not what people buy in your community.
Yeah, it's a big fucking difference. Yeah, well, no, it's you and I both. I know my community is opted out of it. Not sure about yours, but I get weed delivered all the time. They don't care.
No, thankfully, actually, I don't know. I think I do travel to Inkster to get mine. But it's not far away. It's a 20-minute bike ride these days.
Oh, wow.
To go get my weed.
Hey, you get a bike ride. It's only 20 minutes. You get exercise. You get outside.
Oh, yeah. I'm not minding it so much right now. Yeah, while the weather's nice.
Yeah. December, this shit might suck.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to my daughter last night. I was like, it's kind of nice not having a car for now. But that's not going to be practical. Yes, in the near future.
If we lived in a temperate climate, it'd be great. Yeah. But winter's coming.
Yeah, before long, I gotta fix that stupid piece of shit that Ford built.
All right. So is that it?
That's it.
We did it. All right. We can bring Juan Atkins back
to play us out.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. There's no words on it. To play us out. I don't know what that means.
Fucking thing sucks.
Sorry, I hit that twice. Finally fired. All right, well, we are on Twitter at TheWeasel420, Instagram at The Weasel Podcast. Email address is TheWeasel Podcast, ChristopherMedia.net.
You know why I wouldn't fire? Because the fucking thing sucks.
Exactly. It knows the deal. Hey, ChristopherMedia.net, go there, hit the Amazon banner, hit the PayPal banner. Those are two ways that you can help us out. And, if you Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Spreaker.com, Stitcher, the iHeartRadio app. Anywhere there's a podcast, we are there. Thanks for listening, and stay high.
Stay high.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
It's Wild Card Weekend, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. For the first time in league history, 6 games are on the board during the opening round of the playoffs. Feature games Saturday include Indy at Buffalo and LA at Seattle. On Sunday, Chicago visits the Big Easy, while divisional rivals Cleveland and Pittsburgh square off. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as the journey to Tampa gets underway. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.